Hello, I'm German, and welcome to my list of the top 5 human characters in games. These are characters that had me drawn into their world purely from how great of a personality they had. I also will not ignore any character that never even speaks or hardly shows their face, for their reputation alone may speak for their greatness and likability. Let's get started.
So wake up, Mr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes.
Lara Croft. Before I get started on why I just had to add a Lara Croft to this list, I will say that I've never been a big fan of the Tomb Raider games. I played the original on my first PC and it was quite an experience, but I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I played a few more entries in the series, including the new reboot version, but it still never clutched me in the right way. However, that doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy playing as the iconic character. Her British wit during all of her excavations, on top of how brave and kick-ass she was, all chimed in on how much I liked her. She's smart, athletic, and she's not hard to look at. Check, check, mate. That was a British joke, I think. Anyway, I'd like to point out that I'm mostly talking about the older Lara because the new one felt a little different to me. In some ways, she had more personality, but maybe it was just the game that she was in that also made her feel bland. Hopefully the new game coming out will give her more opportunities to charm us and help us fall in love with her again. And hopefully the game is good too. DeWitt and Elizabeth. I decided to put these two together because in my mind, even though they have completely different personalities, they also feel like they're connected deeply. Oddly enough, they are, but you'll have to find out all their little secrets by playing the game. What I will say is that as a team, these two had me cheering for them throughout their entire journey. Their back and forth can be either very sweet and sentimental, and in another section they can be arguing about something to the point where Elizabeth won't even want to be near Booker. But all the same, they always find a way to work together to solve their problems. I especially liked a particular sort of hidden scene where you find a guitar and Booker starts playing with it, while Elizabeth joins in singing. It nearly brought me to tears because of how beautiful it was. You have to hand it to the voice actors and their great chemistry for bringing these characters to life.
That's where that airship's going, but if you want to stay and dance, we can...
No, let's go! Come on, let's go! Come on, let's go right now!
You. This might seem like a cop-out, but let me explain. These are the types of games that put you in a role of a nameless, or sometimes even with a name, but silent protagonist. They make it feel like it's you. A good example is the Call of Duty Modern Warfare series. They tell you what your name is at the beginning of each level, but after that, they make it feel like you are the soldier fighting in the military. This leaves plenty of room for you to show your own emotions instead of leaving it to the already programmed characters. There are tons of great examples of games that use this tactic, mostly all of them being in first person. I had trouble putting this one on the list because it did seem a little cheap, but it makes sense to me and it's already on the list, so deal with it. Also, please like and subscribe. Alan Wake. Alan Wake is one of those characters that get forgotten under the shadow of other well-known AAA characters. However, that doesn't mean he is a forgettable character. In fact, he's quite the contrary for me. The first time I played Alan Wake, I didn't know exactly what I was getting into, like many others. The new IP was pretty appealing at first, but slowly it started to fade. But for those who did play it, found it to be amongst one of the greatest Xbox 360 games to ever hit the shelf. I think that along with a great story, it had to do a lot with the main protagonist that shares the same name as the game's title. Alan is a famous author who has been hit with writer's block for I think it was about 2 years, so he decided to take a trip to a remote vacation spot known as Bright Falls with his wife. If I remember correctly, she didn't know that Alan actually wanted to go there to gain inspiration for a new book.
Thank you for coming here with me. I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it. God damn it, Alice.
Now, she's missing.
Alice?
They begin to argue as soon as they get in their cabin, and for me, that's what I liked about Alan. You can immediately relate to the character because he is just a regular guy with regular problems, aside from the nightmare shadows that try to kill him every once in a while. But seriously, the best part about this game is how close you get to the character as he narrates his story. It's probably some of the best character development I've seen in a game for a long time. Leon Kennedy. The character Leon S. Kennedy from the Resident Evil series has been around since the second installment back in 1998. Back then he was just a rookie cop who found himself in the middle of a zombie apocalypse using a skill of quick thinking to get him through the mayhem. He may have been a favorite for few during the time, but it wasn't until Resident Evil 4 came out that he quickly became everyone's favorite, including mine. His experience in Raccoon City helped him climb higher in the ranks to the point where he was contracted by the president to find and rescue his daughter in an unknown part of the world. I think it's his cocky attitude towards the villains of the game, plus his confidence and overall badass personality that makes us feel this strong want for him to succeed. But he isn't the type of badass that just wants to fight and crave explosions. It's more of a tactical badass, plus his hair's great too. On the other hand though, when he's having conversations with Ashley, you can tell that he's a pretty sweet guy, and sometimes almost seems like sort of a father figure in a way. Leon was also the best part in Resident Evil 6, which didn't turn out to be such a great Resident Evil game. It's a shame, but I hope we'll be able to see Leon again in the future of Resident Evil. And please, for the love of all that is holy, can we all just forget that the live action Leon ever happened? It's not right. That is not the Leon we all know and love.
Talk about near-death experience.
Ashley, get out of there!
Thanks for watching my list of the top 5 human characters in games. I will make a non-human characters list sometime in the near future, so look out for that. And if you would like to share your 5 favorite human characters, go ahead and write in the comments. I'd love to read what you guys think. See you next time.
Their valiant defense was crushed.